Hello, Just Too Good here, and today I'm taking a look at the LEGO Ideas Pirates of Barracuda Bay set, which releases April 1st for $200 with 2,545 pieces and 8 minifigures. This was sent to me early by LEGO to review, which thank you so much because the set is massive and amazing. All opinions are my own though, but trust me, I'm not going to be hating on this set because I absolutely adore it. If you weren't aware, this is a build in the set. This is a 2-in-1 set. They have a full remake of Black Sea's Barracuda, which is the most iconic LEGO pirate ship. It was also the first LEGO pirate ship, I guess, or a minifigure LEGO pirate ship from 1989, where this is a remake of that set. Now what you do is you take apart specific parts from the build of the shipwreck, which is the main parts of the ship, and then you rearrange some parts here and there, add a few parts from a 15th bag, and bam, you have Black Sea's Barracuda 2020. Now this set continues Redbeard's story from the original Black Sea's Barracuda classic pirate set, and we have updates to the crew of that set, which had a total of 8 pirate minifigures, so this one gives us 8 pirate minifigures as well. Really the biggest update is seeing that new Captain Redbeard. And for that updated Redbeard, I love how they made the beard a little bit gray to show the passage of time he's been on Barracuda Bay. The torso print is also a very nice close update to the original, as well as this hat, all 3 of those being exclusive prints. We also have the pearl gold epaulet, which looks fantastic, and it's a piece that we don't get too often. We did get a bunch of them in pearl gold back in 2009 with the LEGO Pirates theme, so it is nice to get here, and then we have some back torso printing as well. This character they call Starboard, and this is another remake of one of the figures from the original Black Sea's Barracuda set, or at least it has a similar design with the blue striped shirt and this red bandana and the mustache. I love how they actually used the mustache piece on 2 characters on here because it is a piece that I don't see too often. It actually works quite well with a pirate theming. That's something I haven't seen before, as I'm used to printed beards or mustaches on pirates. Other than that, that torso print is new and exclusive to this set. We get the musket as well as a sword, just like a Redbeard, and underneath, there's face printing that almost resembles Pablo Sanchez, the designer of the set, though that face print is from 2015, so that must just be a coincidence. Unfortunately, no back facial printing with this headpiece. And this next minifigure's port. This design is another one that's inspired from one of the minifigures in Black Sea's Barracuda with the blue bandana, blue legs, and red striped shirt, mustached face. Same piece as the last minifigure for the mustache. Got a musket and a sword as well, just like the last minifigure. This torso print is actually nothing new. It's from 2015's LEGO Pirates line. And if you remove the mustache, wait a minute, that's Jang. And the next minifigure that may be a remake of a character from the original is Lady Anchor. This design does have an exclusive torso printing, which I think is fantastic. And it does bear resemblance to the female crew member in the original Black Sea's Barracuda set, where she has black hair. She has a pretty similar color scheme on the torso. That's about where the similarities end. Besides that, she has a machete accessory as well as a flintlock pistol, and it's nice to get this hairpiece in black more and more often. You'd actually see more of that torso printing at the back if you remove the hairpiece. The face print is nothing new, and it's actually pretty common, being used since 2015 if I'm not mistaken. This next minifigure is Quartermaster Riggings. Now this may be a remake of a character from the original set who had a pretty similar face print, black tricorn hat, and then a pretty similar torso print. The torso print is actually not new. It's from 2015 LEGO Pirates. The face print is actually new for 2020, but appeared in one police set this year. So it is kind of rare to get. I think it was like a police helicopter chase for $50, so nothing too common. We do have this 2x2 map print from 2015 Pirates as well. And you can get a look at his back torso printing. So there are 3 characters that I wouldn't really say are inspired by characters from the original Black Sea's Barracuda, and these are some of the most interesting figures, with the first being Robin Loot. This character has a new and exclusive torso print that looks excellent. Also love this hair hat combo here, which is a new piece. Yes, they're introducing a new piece in LEGO Ideas, but LEGO pulled a little sneaky. They did the thing that they did in Steamboat Willie, where the minifigure series in May introduces this piece. But this does come out in April, so it's a little early, but that's the excuse. You know, it's not technically a new piece for LEGO Ideas. I don't know how they're going to weasel their way out of Sesame Street. That's going to have like a billion new pieces. Either way, this is actually different from the one in Series 20, which I really love. They're not just reusing a piece from there. This has a different color where it has the tricorn at the top in a brown, and then the hair piece in this nice tan. The one in Series 20, I think, has like an orange or nougat for the hair, and it has a black tricorn at the top. So I'm sure this piece will stay exclusive in this coloring to this set. Other than that, the face print is one that's not super common, which is nice to get. I think it was the easiest to get in like a people pack, but other than that, it hasn't appeared in too many cheap sets. You can see the alternate facial expression there, and she does have 2 flintlock pistols. Next minifigure is Tatuga. This is probably my 3rd favorite figure of the set. I love this torso printing. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. With all the tattoos of Lego pieces, specifically these little parrots up here, and what seems to be some mermaids holding a Lego crab. That is exclusive to this set, and just a fantastic printing that even carries onto the back with the Black Seas Barracuda tattooed at the back. This face print is actually pretty darn rare. It was used for Teen Woo in the summer 2018 Lego Ninjago sets. We do have a kind of uncommon hairpiece, which I think originated as a Canon Jarvis hairpiece. At the back, you can see an alternate facial expression as well. Finally, there's Jack Dark Shark Doubloons, and while this is a little kid, or maybe it's a little person, but I say to lean more towards the kid part because the face is the child print that LEGO's been using since 2016. Either way, this is the bosun of the ship, which is a pretty big role. It says he has to make sure everything's rigged and above board, and that was straight from the instructions. I don't know much about pirate knowledge. Either way, this design of the torso is the new print from this set. It does come in one other minifigure though, which we showed earlier. I do like it in the messenger bag in that coloring, while it's not exclusive. And there is some back torso printing, no back facial printing, but it is nice to get the bandana in a blue. Now, I'm not sure if this is based off of any character in the original, because there was none with a solely blue color scheme. There's none with short legs. Short legs weren't around at the time, and none that looked like a kid. So I just have to think it's an original character. Now, keep in mind there are what some may consider extra minifigures, with the front of the ship having this lady design with this beautiful hairpiece in yellow, though not exclusive, as it came with Aquaman twice, one in the CMF series this year and one in the set last year. While there are no Imperials in this set, there is an Imperial skeleton, which it's nice to get that hat piece in 2020 without the printing. Doesn't come in too many sets in recent years. And there's an extra skeleton locked up in jail. For the animals of the set, there's a really nice exclusive piggy, and this design is in bright pink. Now, with the eye printing different from the bright pink pig in an Exonite set, this one I think is a little bit more useful and less specialized. There's 2 parrots in the set, as well as some crabs, which you can see one right underneath there, a red one over here, and a shark as well. I almost forgot about this 3rd crab. And there's a Lego frog, which was out there hiding. I almost forgot about him. Also, it would have been nice to get a Lego monkey here, but I guess that monkey piece is really out of date, and they can't make specific new molds for this set, so I get it. Starting out with the Pirate Cove build, we should probably start right from the bottom, but this build is massive. Now, you gotta keep in mind that for the Pirate Cove build, it's actually split into 2 parts. These don't connect, but they slide perfectly into place with this part right here sliding into that slot there. So you can just put them together. And at first I was like, well, that's kind of a flaw if it doesn't connect via a Technic pin. And then I just think back to my Simpsons house set. And the garage of that set is connected via Technic pins. And not only did it make moving it kind of a pain in the butt, but disconnecting that part to play inside the garage, every time I would put it back together, it would just explode. So I'm kind of glad they didn't go with Technic pins here. And starting at the front, well, there's this little boat that I know I'll forget about if I don't cover it now. This is a classic piece to get in LEGO Pirates, and this design does have an exclusive print, which does appear twice in this set, where it's a little flag, and of course it has that skull and crossbones design that's kind of prominent throughout this set. There's a bigger flag with it. There's also some oars, as well as space to fit a couple minifigures there, and a sword at the front. And with the bay, this left side is what we'll take a look at first, which has a lot of the important parts of the ship, including the captain's cabin, the quarter deck, as well as the front deck. Also, there's some places like a food supply, a kitchen, as well as a farm. and these big masts, but that's on both sides. We'll start all the way at the bottom with the small farm. For now, it's probably best to move the pirate crew out of the way just to get a better look at the build. And this farm area is actually pretty cute. I like how they have some feed there as well as some tools at the back. And it's a little bit of like a narrow, almost alleyway design where it's in between those two parts of the ship, being the front and the back. Now for the front and back of the ship, this front part right here is actually connected via miniature ball joints. And this is how it's going to connect once I put it all together, which will be shown later on in the video. It's pretty easy to remove, and it's on there very secure, which I appreciate. I don't have any suspicion of this falling down when I'm moving it or anything like that. But you just pull it from those mini ball joints and take a look inside. The interior with the front there doesn't have too much going on, where we just have a bucket as well as a design at the back here. This here is the mast, and the mast just runs all the way through from the bottom to the top. And this actually doubles as the area where to raise and lower the anchor, where you could twist this part and the anchor raises, and you can lower it just by wheeling it opposite way. Very efficient, and it wasn't a pain in the butt to put on, which I appreciate. They actually opted for one with a stud connection instead of the one you gotta tie. I hate Lego strings, so I was really happy about that. Either way, at the front, we already saw that minifigure there, but it's still a very cool design. And you'll notice in the shipwrecked version, right here at the front bowsprit, they do have the sails wrapped up. And now you unravel these with the remake of Black Sea's Barracuda, but for now you just kind of wrap them up using these studded strings, and that works pretty well. And you know what? The front of the ship actually stands on its own pretty well, which I'm starting to figure out, where just the positioning of the hull and the front there works pretty well. So you could just display this part as a shipwreck separately, and I like that. Now I do like some of the pieces here where they use this tube piece in yellow, which I haven't seen before. Also this leaf in yellow, which I was about to say, we did get it in pearl gold and we did get it in orange. So to me, I thought this was actually another set, but no, this is the first time we're getting that in yellow. Traveling up, there is the design of this mast and the little crow's nests, which this design here is where we first saw our parrot. And all the way at the top, there's another one of that exclusive printed flag. Now, one thing I really want to note is that there's a lot of overgrowth with the Pirate Bay version of the build. So you got some vines all throughout the mast and at the front deck. And I like that, but you do take that off for the Barracuda, and that will be shown later once again. Also, some older style windows at the front here. And I like the incorporation of stuff like the mini ball joint to kind of get the positioning right. Oh, and I almost forgot to highlight this really interesting studded string build that runs all the way from the top to the bowsprit, holding in place by a clip right there. But with that part removed, and you can see those two mini ball joint holders that keep it in place, you get a little bit of a better look at the farm from the back. Also, that's where the Imperial skeleton just kind of rests. All throughout the parts of this bay, there's just a lot of hidden details, or just very minute details. You can see all the way in the corner there, we have not only the frog, but these flowers here. And there's even a flower at the back of the skeleton there. And underneath certain parts, you'll find stuff like loose planks, which is kind of interesting. This dock here has a pretty simple build for a lantern. And another lantern on this side of the dock, which actually has a little bit of a food storage, or I guess boxes and crates of food, where we get an old print, but still a nice one, which is the pineapple, and that's on a minifigure head. There's also this banana, as well as a baguette, and that just kind of rests not only in these crates, which are from Lego Friends as the gift box pieces, but also in a barrel back here. If you go underneath where the captain's cabin or the back of the ship lays, there's a little barrel in black, which I don't see that piece in black often, so that was really cool to see, as well as what seems to be some more broken crates and parts from the ship being reincorporated. Here, I like how the mast rigging acts as a ladder to not only access the range/kitchen area from the backside, but also the captain's cabin from the backside. And we'll take a look at that from the front. Actually, the side first. Lots of nice details, and of course, these are all easy to remove and can be reincorporated into the Black Seas Barracuda build. From the front to access that kitchen, there's a staircase, and this door here can get stuck. And I was like, oh man, that's a flaw, because like it's hard to kind of push it from here. Actually, heck, I guess you could pull it from there. But more importantly, Lego thought of that just in case, and you could easily remove this pillar right here and just get a really nice push there. So I like that. Just little details like that where I'm like, oh, no way, this isn't going to work. And it actually works better than I expected. Man, this set is very creative. Now at the side here, you can see how parts kind of lead with staircases and everything like that. And I'm like a fan of platformer games and everything, and this is like a platformer adventure. Man, I really love this set. But from this kitchen area, there's a small range as well as a little fish being cooked. We're in storage and some booze, it seems like. Also on the range, this is a cookie, which I don't know what they were making there, but that seems to be a reincorporation of the cookie piece rather than them actually making, say, a pizookie or something in a pan. This video is not sponsored by BJ's Brewhouse. And right above the kitchen area is the captain's cabin. Inside there's actually some nice treasure, but what we'll do is actually remove this part first. You see the whole quarterdeck just easily lifts up, and that will give us a better look. And yeah, it could be accessed from the door, but really to get the best view of it, you have to lift up from the actual quarterdeck this area here, which has some ammunition for the cannon and a musket as well as a sword on the other side. And inside the captain's cabin, you can see there's some nice treasure to the left there with a trophy of all things and a gem. Actually, two gems with a light blue one and a yellow one. And then to the right, there's also a bust, which is a build I've seen quite a lot lately in Lego sets, but it's still nice to get. Also, there's a printed 1x1 compass, another one of that 2x2 map design, some candles, a little bed, as well as a very well-made seat. I just like how detailed that is, using unconventional pieces like the candle sticks on the side in pearl gold. Some nice part usage. Putting the deck back on, there's a lamp build there. Some detailing at the side of the ship with overgrowth. Some lantern as well. Nice curved tile pieces to kind of get some of those fixtures at the side. And on the opposite side, you can see some detailing as well with the windows and everything. At the back, more overgrowth and even this little ship wheel hanging there with a small black chain. Also, we have a very nice print of this big flag piece, once again lining up with that design of the skull and crossbones throughout the set. That is an exclusive piece to this set as well. And there is this loose cannon that just kind of rests at the top of the deck here. Now there are quite a few cannons in this set, and of course you can just load them up with that cylinder ammunition. This is a newer style, so it actually shoots. You just pull the back here, and wow, that shot so fast, I don't even know if I caught that on camera. And with all that ship removed, this is what's left for, well, the left side of the Pirate Bay, or Barracuda Bay. And this is actually incorporated into the story where once you rebuild the ship, they set sail and they leave what's left on the bay. You know, there's just a lot left over. You'd actually get a better look on the inside here where there are parts that aren't reincorporated into the main build. Like this part looks like it's part of a ship, but that won't be a part of the build. It's just there really for design. And that's why there's an extra bag for some extra pieces to complete the ship. Hidden under the left side's docks, there's a secret treasure chest that's a little hard to retrieve. I guess I'll just have to slide it out. But inside the treasure chest, there's some nice gold bars. And these aren't pearl gold bars. These are the, I guess, brass gold, I think they call it. But I like that so much better than the pearl gold. Those shine really well. And you get a total of 3 of them in this set. And moving on from the left side of the island, let's take a look at the right side. Once again, using these fixtures at the bottom of these round plate pieces. I didn't highlight those, but they're actually pretty cool to get in tan. And they make up a base of an island pretty well. I like the roundness there. It's actually some part usage I wouldn't think about using, but it worked out pretty darn good. Now, this does have the main deck, which is the center of the ship, as well as a tavern design of what has become of the center of the ship. And there's some more details, of course, with some more mast designs, a jail, and some more sails that are all raveled up. If you go all the way to the top there, there's some overgrowth, and then another one of these big printed flag pieces exclusive to the set. Now also, there's a studded string attachment with this barrel hanging here. But I want to get the top part out of the way this time and actually go in reverse and start from this main deck and then just work our way down. Getting my pirate crew out of the way, the front of the main deck here has another little cannon, same build as the other one. Some more overgrowth with these branch pieces, same or similar build with the lantern there. I also like how I kind of built this part up using some of these cornered plate pieces that work very well with the curves there. And that is the roof for the tavern. And what's really cool about the tavern is that it's actually called Jose's Inn. And for a better look, that print is exclusive for this set. At the back, they have some empty bottles, some more weapons, crates. Inside this crate, unfortunately, there's nothing. There's a little grapple hook here if you want to use those studded strings to kind of move from throughout the ship. This part can be lifted, and we'll take a look inside the main deck in a little bit. But there's also a really cute little jail, which of course I showed earlier, where the skeleton is hiding, or I guess he's just kind of left there to rot. Again, a little morbid, but on the box he seems to be sentient, so maybe he's like a haunted skeleton. And getting a good look there. The overgrowth and roof design of that jail, actually, I really like. I like how they use some of these clipped pieces here. Very simple, but it works very well. A little back design. And I guess at this point, this leads us to inside the main deck. You can get a look at some of those little beds, and there's two different colored ones. There's a little candle area and a tricorn hat. But if you want an even better look, lifting this here, the front of the deck has a silver goblet, also a printed 1x2 of a letter. I haven't seen that specific design before. I think they had it in the Lego Harry Potter sets of 2019 in like a tan, if I'm not mistaken. Also another candle design, which is lit. Candle in this corner. Unfortunately, the grapple hook fell under there. That'll be a little bit hard to retrieve. 2x2 print of the ship setting sail, or a ship setting sail, because that wasn't specific to this set. It's actually appeared in sets since, I think, 2013, if I'm not mistaken. Also in this corner here, some more empty bottles, probably rum, but Lego will just call it an empty bottle. And there's even what seems to be a wine cellar. Of course, this is actually the tavern area. And you can see how they made the main deck into a tavern, which I like that. It's a little bit more mature for Lego, but it is pretty cool. In this corner over here, not too much going on. Placing that part back on, moving on to the front. Of course, you can just open up the tavern with this door here. There's another cannon. And one thing I wanted to highlight is that this whole part is very easy to remove. Instead of the other pieces, which are just kind of attached to some studs, this one just slides into some Technic pins. But those Technic pins are fixed onto modified 1x2s, if I'm not mistaken, on the front. So you'll never have them attaching to this end. And again, just very easy to slide off. And this will give us a better look at the right side of the bay. The beautiful build of the dock is continued here, where this area just leads up to a little bit of a watch spot, or a spot that can easily access the main deck. But I especially like this part because we have just this parrot vibe and we have these beautiful, beautiful flowers. I just like that. It gives it a very vibrant feel. Also, something I haven't highlighted, but it's been basically the same for the whole build, is these little coconut trees here. And the treetops of these are the same as the one on the left side of the island, where they have this build of 2 of these lime greens and then 4 of just this regular green. And then attached to the bottom parts, they do have some coconuts, which are just some, if I'm not mistaken, what is it, nougat mini figureheads. And those are a very simple design, but it works. You look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that's a coconut. So you got one tree here with a slightly different trunk than the tree at the back. The tree at the back is actually a lot taller. And you can see how that's using some of those Technic pieces there. And again, there's hidden parts that show once you remove those boat areas, where we have some nice, I almost said dog poo. That's what they started out as. They used that piece in brown as dog poo in Series 19. That's how that piece was introduced. But it's also used as seashells, and those appeared in the Lego Moana sets of 2020, and they're appearing here. Beautiful flowers here. Gives it all just a gorgeous look, even when you're not displaying the ship on. And to the right, I like this small structure, which, am I mistaken in thinking that that might be a reference to Islanders? I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy, but I think that's just a nice little detailing. And if you look behind there, there's some more utensils or materials or tools with, if you count the bottle of rum as a tool, or it could be just an empty bottle for the ship in a bottle. Some hammers and a hatchet and an oar there. But that's it for the right side of this island. Here's how the bay looks once you remove all the pirate ship parts. And with all the parts of a ship removed and the bay cleared, it's time to rebuild this into Black Sea's Barracuda. So for rebuilding the Pirate Bay into a remake of this set, Black Sea's Barracuda, the instructions give some steps on what to take apart. Begins right here, and you can see I take a lot off from the actual cove. Numerous sails and parts to add that were built and removed. And replacing parts that were part of the wreckage, and then it leads you into bag 15, which are just some additional features that you need to add to make this a complete ship. And do note that these steps are actually about 30 pages worth of steps, so it's not going to be the easiest thing to switch in between the two, but that's okay, and let's see how it looks all together. As for the parts removed from the ship, all the foliage, the sails, also some parts from the island, and there's that 15th bag, as well as some extra sails that weren't used, and those are incorporated into the Black Sea's Barracuda remake. And with the pirate ship all built up, I have to say, this is much bigger than I expected, and stunning from the exterior. As somebody who only had the Brick Bounty really as a pirate ship, this design is actually kind of surprising at how big it is. And compared to the original Black Sea's Barracuda, it's a very similar size, so I guess the original was big in general. I do have some problems with the interior and structure of this though. And all that comes with accessing the interior. There's no easy way to do it. You will have to take parts apart, and it's not like on a Technic pin or anything like that. The only part of the interior that's kind of easy to access, and even then there's not a good gripping point, I have to kind of pull these barrels. Now this one's stuck. Is this little area of what used to be Jose's Inn. Or I guess it could still be Jose's Inn just on the go. I'm quite glad I showed the interior earlier, because if I saved it for now, well, I'd kind of be screwed, because I can't get to this area easily at all since there is no open back area like it was on the shipwreck. And then the captain's cabin does have an easy access point because this plate still works. So if you want to remove this area and access the captain's cabin, thankfully that's quite easy. But again, the interiors are the same. They don't change any of the interiors, so there's not really much of a point of showing that. I kind of just wish that for this bottom area or something, maybe there's a panel to remove. I don't know how they would do it, but they did a lot of functionality done well with the shipwreck. So I'm sure they could have thought of a way or something to just easily access this chunk as well as this chunk in the inside of the ship. That's kind of a shame because I do like accessing the interior as well as displaying it, but still, the exterior looks beautiful. Of course, that's aided by the use of the sails here, and you end up using all of them. There's no extra ones or anything like that. All the way to the front, which this one you really gotta weave right into place. But I'm glad it's just using those studded strings, because if it was actual strings, ugh, that would be the worst. And a lot of those pieces that were removed are replaced to different parts on the deck. Either way, the design of this on the exterior I still adore, and just kind of show all sides of it. I mean, I honestly don't think the official images did the size of this justice, because really we got like a picture of it from the back, and that doesn't really display too much of what's going on and really how big this design is. It's almost like an optical illusion because it looks so small in the official picture. And that view from the back, which you can see how it's built up there. Now, for some differences between the original version and this version, I noticed the side cannons aren't incorporated either, and that just seems to be something that is because you can't really access the interior so well, as I pointed out. Other than that, that's kind of one of the bigger parts that's missing, but there's not too much else that seems to be missing, except, you know, the design of this is fundamentally different because it uses different pieces, more modern pieces, and a more solid structure. And with the island, you could have this scene of them boarding onto the ship and leaving Barracuda Bay. I think it integrates pretty well. Of course, the island may be a little bit barren now, but that makes sense. They removed all the resources and have rebuilt the Black Sea's Barracuda. Either way, that's it for the builds of this set. Now it's time to take a look at the gigantic packaging, and then we'll move on to the final verdict. So the set could be seen as nostalgia pandering to some, but to me it's more of a love letter than anything, and the box shows that with this design that is very reminiscent of the Legoland boxes, where they have that little stripe that's yellow in the corner. This time, though, it's actually the name of the set there instead of Legoland, where it says Pirates of Barracuda Bay. It's a fantastic tribute. Oh my gosh. From the side part right here, you may think this is a Lego Space idea set, but no. I love that backdrop of not only the evening sunset, but then just the starry night. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. You guys know I love Lego boxes probably more than a lot of other people. And then this right here, oh my gosh, this part right here, this is all just the side. We haven't even gotten to the back. Oh, nostalgia. This is, or at least I think this is what it reminds me of. It's the flaps of the Lego sets that, they don't do this anymore, but they would have Lego sets where you flap open, or you open up the front flap of the box, and they would have these designs on there. They would have these little sketch designs. And that's what it's very reminiscent of to me. Now, I might be wrong about that, but that's the feeling it invokes. And to me, really the only problem with this is just that I think they should have included this at the front, this little box here, because not a lot of people will know that this can become Black Sea's Barracuda, and that is a selling point in itself based on nostalgia alone. Either way, at the back, different shots, and a very awesome background design with a map. Love this box so much. And even more cool designs on this other flap as well. And all the way to the top. And this is the Lego idea set, so the packaging awesomeness does not stop there. Open this up. Not only do you get bios of the pirates, which there's even more. For some reason they have like 3 or like 2 bios for the pirates and just information. There's a freaking comic at the start. And that is very reminiscent of a lot of these old pirate sets. I think they were like realistic versions of the pirates, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Pablo, who designed the set, which you can see right there, I think he even mentioned that he was inspired by old Lego Pirates movies, or it could just be old Pirates movies. But I know there was like some VHS stuff or something for Fabuland, so that might be what he's referencing. That they also had it for Pirates, and I know they did have those interesting comics, and they have information on the people from Lego who helped design it and everything. Also, there you go for the bio. And not too much else until the end, but we already saw the end on how it can be rearranged into Black Sea's Barracuda. Very long build for me, but that is it for the packaging. Let's take a look at the final verdict. So overall, the LEGO Ideas Pirates of Barracuda Bay is an absolutely phenomenal set. And you guys know I already love it. Love LEGO pirate stuff, so you could say there's some bias there, but to have two builds, which came out of nowhere, I didn't expect to have a remake of Black Sea's Barracuda, and then the main build, which is the playset, I think is the stronger build. I mean, the Black Sea's Barracuda build does have the one problem I have with the set, which is the hard to access interior, but other than that, that's a gorgeous display piece and a great tribute to classic pirates. But then the main build is just a phenomenal display and play piece with all these little details all around. I love the use of plant life to really make this more vibrant than you would expect. There's a lot of color going on here, and that's also aided by the waters that surround it. Also aided by the very unique minifigures in this set. LEGO went above and beyond to give just a fantastic love letter to classic pirates with this set, even down to the box having little tributes and stuff like a comic. I love this set. Huge thank you to Pablo and all the actual people at LEGO who worked on this. This is just a phenomenal A set. My only problems again is the interior is a little bit hard to access. Another thing is, yeah, it kind of would have been cool if they made updated monkey. There is that monkey CMF piece that they could have probably slipped in here, and that would have been a good substitute that, as opposed to that older style monkey that was in the original Black Sea's Barracuda, which I get might be like a discontinued mold or whatever. Those two aren't huge problems because at the end of the day, this is a direct-to-consumer set. So having the Black Sea's Barracuda be more of a display piece than a play piece and that you can't access the inside, it isn't that big of a problem. But that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you again to LEGO so much for letting me do this. And it was just a fantastic opportunity. I'll be displaying this, not sure which way, if I'll keep it as a pirate ship or keep it as the Pirate Bay. But either way works, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.